boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. What, Niall? Why didn't you jump in?
Oh, sorry, I was just looking up the cultural significance of the lyrics.
You know what? This movie gets a lot of crap, Niall, and I get it. But
Justifiably.
but I've been conditioned on like so much hate for this film, but it's really easy to background watch. And there's some really good lines in here. Like, what does God need with a
There are.
spaceship and not in front of the
I
Vulcans? Like, there's great
Yeah,
lines.
it was not in front of the
The
Klingons.
Klingons, yeah, that's all right.
That got a little giggle out of me when I was rewatching this before this. Just that little aside between Kirk and Spock is Captain, not in front of the Klingons. Perfect.
And they're just drinking Tennessee whiskey and eating beans and singing "Row Your Boat."
And why not? Well, that's how they started the movie. And
Yeah.
what I, it's a very, there's a lot wrong with it.
Okay. So this is Movies, Films, and
but
Flicks.
it,
This is
but
our
it has some redeeming moments and some redeeming qualities too.
like. You know what I love about this movie? I watched this rambling 20-minute interview with Shatner when he's sitting in
Oh,
Yosemite.
is that the one where he's talking about the guy who was the best climber? It was almost Trumpian.
And he's like, they want to hug the rock. They want to make love to the rock. And I've been grabbed by the throat by the studio and the story. And now it's up to humans. And like, he's like, now they're moving it into place, but they forget about pine trees. But he's like, yeah, no, they're moving it into place. And this movie is about God in both ways. I'm like, Shatner, you're just on a rock talking crap. And
That interview, if you can find it on YouTube, it is unhinged.
yeah, it is. And someone's comment was great. It was just the number one. I didn't read any of it, but the number one comment was like, man, he's so adorable in a deranged way. I don't in like a despicable way, something like that. But listen, Star Trek
After I
5.
saw that, I almost messaged you saying Shatner could totally play Trump on SNL.
I almost sent this to you and told you to watch like minutes 1 through 4. Just watch these. And let me listen. Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier, it did not do well at the box office. It made $70 million after Voyage Home made 133 million. It was the lowest. It's the lowest grossing of, oh no, Nemesis. Nemesis is the lowest grossing, but it's the second lowest grossing film in the franchise. And unadjusted for inflation. This is the problem with it, Niall. Scripts were changed, locations were bad, ideas were changed, but
They ran out of money.
They ran out of money. A lot of problem. But the main problem with this is the core idea. Like the core idea shot them in the foot. That's what it is. It's like we got to go find God, and then they're kind of like, no,
which doesn't really work.
no. It's like, no, we can't go find God. Okay, well, what do we do then? Okay, well, we'll have a guy named Cybok, who's Spock's half brother. He steals the Enterprise, and then they go through an untravelable thing and a Klingon ship, and then they meet like an alien who's pretending to be a god, and then a rock monster. Yeah, but it's not. And then there's a rock monster, and the main point of this movie is that they're family. That's the whole takeaway from this movie is they're like, we don't have family, but they do have family.
And Spock's brother is a fear vampire. He basically takes your fear and your pain and sucks it away from you.
He's like the one from What We Do in the Shadows, but he bores people to death.
But he takes your pain. So he's really a good vampire. He takes away pain from you and helps you to be a better person.
What's terrible about that? Take your work. I mean, I get what Kirk is saying about we need our pain, and that's what makes us human, and that's what makes us drive. But it's just, I think the core idea is what screwed this movie, because
it's just Cybok as a character flouts the face of everything we've seen about Vulcans as a species and as a race. Before that, we've got this dude who's just, hey, I'm Cybok.
Yeah, he's based off the televangelists of the 80s that were huge and in the United States, which is, Star Trek tackling
he decides to stage a coup on Mad Max planet
with like a Total Recall 3-breasted cat lady.
Yes, and you have a motley crew of administrators, a random drunken Klingon, a British dude, and then a Romulan lady who shows up and appeared to be getting on really well with the human dude by the end. They were kind of
Yeah.
cozying up at the party.
Look,
Obviously, some moves have been made.
what do you do on this planet? Do you just sit in the bar and drink? There's no infrastructure.
No, the dude at the start was scrabbling around in the dirt
Yeah, making holes in the ground.
for whatever reason. And then you've got Paradise City, which I'm sure is not what Axl Rose was
Guns and
singing
Roses.
about. I do not think that is the place where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
Uh, please don't take me
Um,
there.
I would not like to go there.
No.
It was definitely giving Bartertown vibes from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
So he just needs a spaceship, gets a spaceship, breezes through an impossible to get to vortex. And then it's just an alien. And then Kirk is like, well, and then Spock loses his brother. And Kirk's like, well, I have a family after all. That's the movie. That's Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Or Star Trek V. Yeah, and it, like, everyone's talking about if William Shatner would have had his full vision. That's not a good full vision.
There's a lot. It just doesn't really ring true.
No.
We had the three previous movies, which were quite tightly focused, paced, and this movie is following like 3 weeks after the voyage home. The Enterprise is still brand new, and they've just been on their shakedown cruise at the end of voyage home. They get the brand new ship. It's still broken. So this is only 3 weeks after they put Spock back in his body, and they're going off finding his long lost brother and finding God and
eating beans
and climbing mountains because they're there.
Getting lost in the woods.
That was basically all those two had to do in the entire movie.
And Uhura dances,
which was very weird.
Very weird. This is okay. This is why it's okay. Nimoy is a good director.
Yes.
And he had good scripts. Mostly good scripts. No, he had final scripts for 3 and 4, did he not? Yeah, he had final scripts.
Yeah, he did.
And so 2 was great because it was simple. It was Ahab. Like, it was just a revenge tale. Could take place on boats. 3, simple script.
Saw someone post something about it on Reddit today or yesterday in the science fiction thing, saying it's the greatest sci-fi movie ever read, and then everyone was coming in the comments saying, it's like, wow, it's just Moby Dick.
Yeah. And it's so simple. 3, simple. 4, simple. Like, let's get a whale and let's have some fun. They had finished scripts. This one didn't have a script. Like, it wasn't even finished. And then, like, he went to Harve Bennett. Like, Harve Bennett didn't even want to do it. And then he was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. And he's like, but we're not doing this idea.
The thing is, at this stage, their popularity, they had the Voyage Home, which had done really well.
Yeah, they were hot.
The Next Generation had been on TV for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And did they necessarily want to continue with the old generation when the Next Generation was on TV and doing well? It was one of the more popular shows, I think, back then.
And just the budget, they couldn't afford ILM on this one.
Yeah, they had to. Well, I don't think it wasn't that they couldn't afford.
Or was
them.
ILM busy?
I think ILM were busy.
Got it. And then all the script changes and everything gave this one company who had done some good work before, like 6 weeks to do all this stuff. And it just
6 weeks and $5. And here you go, guys. Just put together whatever.
And they got yelled at for it. And it's like, listen, like, you can't have fast, good, and you can't have fast, great, and cheap. You can have fast, good, and cheap, or fast, mediocre, and cheap. So it's, after how great 4 looked, the special, this is great. Like, and Shatner only wanted this out of ego. He's like, well, Nimoy directed, so I need to direct. It's like, okay, you have this in your but should you? I have a question, Niall. You and I, we're Star Trek actors, successful, set for life. I have experience directing. You have some experience directing. You've done some TV shows. I step in and I just direct 2 absolute banger movies. You really have no theatrical direction at all, and you're quite lost. Would you direct the film?
Not a chance. That's my personality.
Yeah,
Shatner. Bill Shatner.
Like, let the hot hand roll. Let the hot hand eat. Like, just let it roll. Like, don't, like, he stepped in and you could feel it. Like, this is, and listen, there are some good moments in this movie. I love. What does God need with the spaceship? I love that not in front of the Klingons. Like, that's funny. And I like some of the moments, but there's like boots and gags and Scotty's knocking himself out. And
There were some I liked when Uhura brought Scotty takeout because she knew he'd be working on the ship instead of taking time off. I thought that was quite sweet. Um, there were a few, the concept of this Mad Max planet where you have three different races working together in kind of a neutral planet is not horrible.
no,
It's probably could have been quite an interesting story if they'd focused on that instead of it just being a Deus Ex Machina to get a spaceship to go and penetrate an impenetrable barrier
two
that is
spaceships.
apparently penetrable by any spaceship that happens to wander near it.
The weirdest Klingon subplot.
It's not so much a barrier, it's more like crime scene tape or something. If you really want to go through it, you can just kind of go through it.
What's that? Remember in Robin Hood Men in Tights when the two guys are fighting over the bridge and Dave Chappelle's like, guys, you just jump over the creek. It's that easy. Like, you don't need to, like, that's what this barrier is. It was what a Chew jumped over in Robin Hood. It's the creek.
Or
that,
in what you call it with Nicolas Cage and where he just walks around the wall.
The unbearable weight of massive talent. Yeah. Everyone gets through it. But yeah, I don't hate I'm gonna tell you though, Niall, I'm not as Trekkie, but I don't hate this movie though. Like, I think the whole core idea of it was not sustainable. But I do think it's interesting that, like, hey, let's go find God, and it's just an alien, and then they blow up the. But there's no plot there though. It's like, hey, let's find God. Well, it wasn't God, and it was an alien, and then the alien pops up in the last 10 minutes. That's like, it's better.
That's, I think, the problem with the movie, because it doesn't. You don't have something like Khan where he dominates the movie and he's the overriding driving force of the plot, or you don't have like The Voyage Home where you have this conflict that is driving everything. It's like, okay, the whales need to be got. We've gone back in time. We need to do this. Or going to Genesis and finding Spock like you've had in the previous three movies. You've just kind of got a random selection of events that are roughly sending you to this conflict with a throwaway alien-ish thing that they blow up and never speak of again.
At least V'ger's a threat. At least the probe, they're threats for most of the film. This is just like a jerky alien.
He's a jerky alien who's been giving a slightly unhinged Vulcan some visions to get him to set him free.
I do love Whoops movies though, where it's like, I'm gonna go pursue God, and then you find God, and the God steals your spaceship and just wreaks havoc on the universe, and you go, whoops, like that's. I do love Whoops movies where you're like,
we need to see a what if version of this, where what if they brought the Enterprise closer and just let him go run off in the universe? What would he have actually done?
Oof. Maybe like Ego from Kurt Russell's Ego from Guardians 2.
Maybe.
But without the great music and hair.
Or maybe he runs into one of the other god level beings that are kicking about out there and gets put back in his place.
So it's a malicious alien was stuck there, gave visions to a Klingon. The Klingon started a cult of people who had their pain sucked away from them. And then they show up and they're like, ooh. Yeah.
But actually, look at the time. Yeah, so can we just look, you stay here, forget you ever saw us, we'll just we'll be going.
I just think, you know what's really interesting to me is, and this is my theory, that like simple is not always easy, because I think some of the best sci-fi films ever made are just kind of easy. Like, if you think about Star Wars, it's just the hero's journey. I mean, there's the Force, whatever, but it's just, it's a kid. He has this. I guess
That's seasoning.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's simple. I think Star Trek 2, Star Trek 4, Star Trek 3, it's just simple. Keep it simple. This movie has a lot going on. Like the first 30 minutes, there's no reason for the camping. There's no
The camping, I think, was only put in to have that book ending.
Yeah, we'll row your boat.
Camping again at the end.
And it's just like I get that you guys are trying to say, like, hey, we're family, but like so much, but I mean, also there's so many rewrites and budget cuts. They probably had to stick them on a set and eat beans because they couldn't afford anything. But I think that's the problem when you got to meet God. Like if you meet God and it's a malevolent, like just evil being, malevolent being, you need special effects. And if you're on location like they were, that's going to be expensive. And if you don't have the money for it, I just think sometimes like when people are like, they should have had the full vision. It always bothers me when people like they have a budget and then they go, the producer or whoever goes, it's way too big and they just can't achieve that vision. And then what they get is like half their vision. I think it's best when you're like, I have $30 million. This is my vision. My vision costs $75 million. I need to scale it down to fit 30 million. I can't wedge 30 million to make a $75 million film. That won't work. I need to go back to the drawing board and scale back. But what it seems like is they scaled back and then they had to scale back on set with the script. And it was like never, they were just sort of playing catch up. And then the whole movie was a mess.
That's what comes from having an inexperienced director as well. And not
ego,
being able to control that creep where it's, okay, there's massive scope creep. And we need to do this. Okay, let's cut this back. And we really need, they turn up in this barter town, I'm going to call it. And they're attacking everyone. Everyone else is shooting people with guns, but Shatner has to go hand to hand and knock out like 3 guys.
A lot of people die in that scene.
Nimoy said, I saw a little interview with him about this particular one, and he was very restrained in what he said, but he said the way the movie was set up was so that we did a lot of the things that Bill liked to do while shooting. So there was lots of running, lots of fighting, lots of hanging off things.
Climbing. It's all ego. He didn't make a Star Trek movie. He made a Shatner movie.
Yeah.
And that's
I've
crazy.
Decided I don't really like Shatner movies.
Yeah. But like, that's nuts. It's like, I like the word scope creep because you know what's nuts? That God could have been Shakare. That God could have been a human. It could have been, this is 87, right? When it came out, who's a character actor name? This could have been Willem Dafoe. This could have been,
oh yeah,
whoever. This could have been a seasoned actor or like a young person. Like this could have been someone in their 70s, big name, shows up in a robe like Alec Guinness or something like that on a desert planet. We're going full Obi-Wan Kenobi here, or just lives in like a really interesting
Charlton Heston.
They show up to Charlton Heston. They go into a cave. They find him. He's a divine being. He's like, I need your starship. And like, you're God. Why do you need like? And then you have the action from there. He gets on the starship. You know, like that would have been Khan, but whatever. I don't care. It's Star Trek. Like you can recycle ideas, but they didn't need that expense. They didn't need the rock monsters. They didn't need if that's not working, do something else. Like we've shown that Khan can be an interesting villain. If you make a human the villain who's like not like this guy isn't revenge driven. This guy isn't angry Klingon. He's just a jerk, just gross person who tries to take the ship. That's it.
And we don't even know that. All we have for character motivation for this guy is they show up and he says, hey, I'm the Almighty, and then he shoots them with some eye lasers, so we can assume he's a bad guy. But he never answers the question.
Yeah.
He gets asked twice, what do you need with a starship? He could have said, it's like, well, what I want to do is I want to ram 2 of them together really fast just to see what happens. That would be something fun. Um,
like Jesus went on Earth and needed that. Like he could have said it could have said something instead of just blasted Shatner with a ray that only burnt his shirt. That's really I love rays that are so powerful that they can knock you back 10 feet, but only destroy a circle of your shirt.
it's important. That's why you have stun settings on weapons. They're very damaging to clothing, but they won't cause permanent damage.
Does a demon have stun setting? Does like a fake alien have a stun setting?
I assume so. It's well, obviously he didn't kill Kirk and Spock.
That's true. I guess you know what it could have been like. Listen, you got me. I'm not a god. I'm just stuck here. I need a ride.
And you know what? Kirk might have said, "Oh, well, why are you here?" Okay. That seems unjust. Maybe if you hadn't shot me with eye lasers, I'd be cool and give you a ride out of here. But because you've shown that you're a little bit unhinged, I'm going to say no. I'll pass and
I'll see you later.
stick your thumb out again. Maybe the next slot will pick you up.
Maybe there'll be like another Vulcan that you can do this. Oh man.
I think the Klingons would have picked him up.
Oh yeah.
If he just waited 5 minutes, the Klingons were there. They would have totally done it.
This movie. It's I still like it though, Niall. I don't think it's good. Objectively, it is not a good film. But
No.
You can still put it on and enjoy it. Or at least put it on the background. It's so low stakes, this movie. Nothing happens until about 50 minutes in, which is kind of a trademark of these films, but really nothing goes on. Like once again,
Well,
I did like
we had our traditional, you have to approach the Enterprise very slowly shot. Obviously lower budget than when ILM were doing it, but we still had that kind of slow approach.
Oh man.
But yeah, this film, it's got 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 25% audience score. It's being not well loved, I think, is being kind, at least in terms of its reception.
The 23 and 5.5 seems fair because you don't leave this movie hating it. At least I didn't. Like I had some fun with it, and like the Vulcan line is good, or the Klingon line is good. But yeah, this is a 23% film, I would say. I feel safe with that.
It's just not very good. But
it's just not
it's
very
not
good.
it's not offensively bad.
Mm-mm. But
I've seen a lot of movies where I've had feelings where I've just thought, oh, this is just awful. Whereas this one, at least, I could happily watch it. Like you said, I could throw it on in the background and watch it, and it's almost like a comfort blanket because you still have the character work.
yeah,
You still have, McCoy, Kirk, Spock. Their performances as the characters are actually not that bad. There's some good banter between them. Um, I
Lawrence
liked that they
Luckinbill's
didn't
okay.
have. I liked that they didn't have Spock do the double betrayal kind of thing where, oh, now my mind is wiped and I'll go with my brother. I liked that they kept
Uh,
Spock kind of true, and he was just like, you know what, Cyborg, not interested. Cheers. And then McCoy, who I think had been ready to go with him, and is like, oh well, I guess if he's not going, I'll not go as well.
but the rest of the crew can't get over that. But McCoy just easily gets over whatever thing was on him.
Yeah.
I love what you said. This movie is just not very good. But you know what though? The it's paced like a Star Trek movie. The cinematography is fine. The performances are fine. It has a couple good ideas. So I think you're right. You don't. I at least didn't watch this movie and hate it. Like I think some people hate this film. I've watched other movies that crush my soul much worse than this. But yeah, I think what makes me like the movie less is learning about Shatner's role in it. This is a movie that was sabotaged by the ego of one man. And I know,
Yeah, it's
but like,
one of the
Nimoy,
stories that came out of it.
he, oh, what was the story?
Uh, Will Wheaton told a story about it. So Will Wheaton was working on Next Generation, and they were filming on parallel lots. Basically, the Star Trek Five lot was one lot over from wherever they were filming Next Generation in 1988, and Wheaton went over to meet his idol, Captain Kirk, and apparently Shatner was just an absolute asshole to him.
Hmm?
This little 16-year-old kid or whatever age he was at that stage who was in Star Trek and was super excited to meet Captain Kirk and the director of Star Trek Five, and this is a huge deal for him. And he said it did not go well.
Hey, don't get me started on his Comic-Con appearances. Not Wheaton. Wheaton was cool. I showed him Wes Anderson art in Austin, Texas. I like him. But yeah, don't get me started on Shatner stories because he's I don't want to do it. It was many headaches. But yeah, it just sucks that this movie kind of took place during some of the peak popularity for the franchise, and it was just sabotaged by. He's like, why did I write this scene with me climbing on El Capitan? He's like, I don't know. It's like, because we just want to make love to the rock, and we want to do
the rock. It's kind of like because it's there, and
yeah.
then I was climbing it, and I was thinking, I just couldn't get Trump out of my mind. Just watching him say that, it was just that level of incoherence.
Like when Tom Cruise is climbing a rock in Mission Impossible, it's Ethan Hunt. He climbs a rock. Get it? Totally get it.
Yeah,
that's what he does. But Shatner on a rock, he never rock climbs. You don't climb El Capitan with no ropes, only freestyle, like free soloing as like a hobby.
When you're 50, 60 years, I think the character was supposed to be in his late 50s at that point, probably.
And not much time has gone by where he was talking about just being an old man sitting in his house drinking booze. And then he's free soloing El Capitan. So like it's just all ego. And yeah, it's just a shame. I think it's just a shame. And it's one of those movies that I know I said I can't hate it, but also it just sucks. Like it just sucks that the ego of one guy can really do this to a film. And Nimoy, if he tanked his directing, like if he tanked with his films, I guess it could have been on him too with his ego, but he directed good movies. So I don't know, watching Shatner step up and kind of hurt the franchise to a certain extent. Like he really did hurt the franchise. So I know it came back with Undiscovered Country 2 years later, but it's just a bummer, Niall.
Well, I think part of Undiscovered Country getting greenlit was based on the popularity of the show, where Next Generation was still going strong.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, also, the budget was 30 million. They made 70 million.
So it wasn't a flop.
Yeah. And it sold did discs, it sold VHS tapes. So, I mean, traditionally, you're going to want to milk these franchises for as long as possible. So I don't think it's a bad idea that they made another one. This was profitable. This movie was profitable, but it was still harmful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't Nemesis levels of unprofitability and bad, because you can make as many bad movies as you want as long as people are going to go and see them.
Okay.
Case in point, Transformers.
This is really interesting that you said that, because you're right. Nemesis is the least profitable of all the films. Wow. Yeah, because it had a 60 million budget and it made 67 million. Woof. That's not great. Is that the Tom Hardy one?
Yes.
We're getting to that soon. We still have to do Undiscovered Country Generations, but at the rate we're moving, this is fun. I really enjoy this series. I know I've said that a lot of times, but I don't know. I dig it. Like I've really enjoyed learning about this franchises too. And yeah, this movie's not good. What did you say this movie was? It is not a very good movie. Isn't that what you said? I agree.
It is not a very good movie.
Yeah, it is not. It should be on the
bad
poster. But I don't know. I still like it. I need my pain.
But it was a profitable movie, and it was not a franchise killer.
That's interesting you say that, because everyone hates this movie. Not everyone. A lot of people dislike this film, but you're right. It's by no means a franchise killer.
we've had what, 8 movies in the franchise since then,
Yeah.
um, including the Abrams ones.
And like, what's interesting about Star Trek is like Nemesis won't. I mean, well, Nemesis did kill the franchise for about 7 years,
Yeah,
but that was an ender right there. Yeah, that was bad because Insurrection was really popular and First Contact was popular. Huh. And then you know what though? You know what I think the problem is with a lot of the Star Trek movies? They don't do well internationally, so you can't give them a lot of money. Like I know, Star Trek Beyond cost 185 million, but it only made 336 million. That's not a lot. The
which
first
is
Star,
decent. Yeah,
but
it's
like,
still a decent
well,
decent amount.
they say half the money goes into budgeting. So like, let's say 185, 250 million, and then like split with theaters, they're just barely breaking even. So I think that's one of the scary things about this franchise where you don't want to put 190 million into it. You don't want to put 200 million into it. And so but in today's day and age, you kind of need to, but it's still not
Yeah,
something that hits big internationally.
that's the thing. The IP is still too niche
Yep.
to warrant the kind of money that it would need to be a real spectacle.
What if Michael Bay directed a Star Trek film?
It would have more explosions, I guess. Um, I don't know. Well, there was talk of Tarantino doing one.
Oh
I think
man.
that's been shelved now. I think he had a script treatment, and I think it was close to being greenlit, and that would have been interesting.
Pew. You get these, how many F bombs would have been dropped?
All of them.
But I just, yeah, it's just a tough sell. And I think since this franchise is so niche, you really need a tight script going into it. Like this,
Yeah, you do.
some of these Transformers movies you watch and you're like, this makes no sense. Like this is crazy. But then it makes $1 billion. Like, because that can just translate internationally. But with Star Trek, you need like Star Trek Beyond suffered from a lot of script changes and writing on set. And
I
I
quite
still,
like Beyond.
yeah,
I
I
thought it was
love
quite fun.
when it comes to the franchise, I like 1, 3, 2, and I love 3. But I just feel bad because all the news was about the script changes and this, that, and the other, and they didn't have a lot of time, and directors dropped out, directors joined in, and the budget dropped, and then they don't know if they're getting a fourth one made. And like I just think it's best to go in with like a tight with any movie. I think some movies can get away with it, but I just think with the Star Trek franchise, you can't rush these bubbers. Like you gotta have a
Well,
script.
results have shown that the ones that have done the best have been the ones with the tightest productions and most prepared.
And that sounds obvious, but it's not. A lot of movies go into films without completed scripts. And that's why I love James Gunn. They're like, hey, why do your movies look better? And he said that he goes into a film with a completed script. That script has been given to the VFX artist months in advance. Nothing gets changed really in the script. And so he doesn't have to do reshoots. They just have longer days because they have to get everything right because he doesn't do reshoots. But because of
And
that,
that's what I liked about the first Matrix as well. They
yeah,
had basically everything storyboarded before they even filmed it. It was basically like a comic book laid out, and they were able to just point to the storyboard and say, okay, we're getting that shot right now. Let's set it up.
and people don't know how much work went into bullet time, but that was a lot of work. But
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said, they had it storyboarded. They knew what they were doing, or they at least they knew what they needed. And I think with Star Trek, you gotta have a steady hand, and you have to have a final script. And you just yeah, I think you just gotta have it's so niche, you can't rush these things. And I don't know. Once
And
again, that sounds obvious, but a lot of movies can get away with that.
and the thing is, if you are not very careful, you immediately alienate a large portion of your audience,
Yeah, they're
which
gone.
is not that big an audience.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Basically, Star Trek fans are going to see it, and some casuals. But if you alienate Star Trek fans, like you, that's your core audience because you don't have many outside of that. So you really do have to walk a fine line when making these movies, and this is proof. Hey, we did it, Niall. We came up with something good. I like that. I like it. That was a good one. But yeah, this movie. Cyborg. Oh, and like he's
Is
not.
it the worst fifth movie in a franchise, though? Probably not.
No, because Genesis. I think Genesis is the fifth one in the franchise because there's Terminator 1, 2, 3, Salvation, then Genesis. Genesis is wildly bad. A Good
Rocky
Day to Die
5.
Hard. Oh,
A Good Day to Die Hard is pretty bad.
I'd say that's the worst fifth entry. Is A Good Day to Die
That
Hard.
was dreadful.
Like I like, and when it comes to horror, I like Dream Child, I like Seed of Chucky, I like Revenge of Michael Myers has some good parts. A New Beginning's okay. Scary Movie 5 is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Ghost Dimension, Paranormal Activity.
They made 5 of those. God.
Yeah. Transformers Last Night. That movie's crazy.
I did not get as far as that. I think I watched the first 3, maybe Transformers, and I said, right, I've had enough.
I had to count every explosion in Michael Bay's films. And by the time I got to that film, I just started talking to myself. I'm like, this is insane. This is like the craziest thing. And I'm the one who pitched it. So yeah, that movie's nuts. But I kind of like it because I think this word is used too often. But that movie felt like a little bit of a fever dream for me. Because I'm like, what am I watching? What is this? Oh, it was bad. It was bad. But hey, do you want to do a fifth film draft?
Yeah, we've got there are some good ones out there, I think.
Oh yeah.
Particularly if we get liberal with some of the rules.
What like I talking about like no, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's do it. Let's be liberal.
I'll
let you pick first.
Well, the first one was a happy coincidence for me. So you might recall from our No Time to Die podcast episode, my favorite James Bond film is You Only Live Twice, which happened to be the 5th James Bond film. Nice. So I'm going to take that.
Oh, that's a great film. Someone said that we should do all the Bond movies. I'm like, that's a big series.
That is a big ask.
that's several years. You're going to be around for a while on that one. I'm going to take Fast 5. Oh, Fast 5 is incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to do that.
The next one I'm going to take is I'm excluding the versus films in order to have this one, but I'm going to take Prey.
Ooh, that's strong. Wait, so then is Prometheus the 5th?
I believe so.
All right, I'll take that.
Because I was like, I don't really rate the things. And I was like, ooh, if I exclude those and I just have the thing, it's like, ooh, I could have Prey.
Prey is awesome. I love Prey.
Yeah,
and I love Prometheus.
Prey is excellent. Prometheus is good too. I think a more recent one, but wasn't amazing, but was decent. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
That movie's fun.
Yeah, it's not as good as the originals, but it's not bad either. It's like a decent adventure. I think it's better than 4.
It's a good yarn. Mangold knows how to make a movie.
Yeah, he does.
So I have a question. In 2014, Godzilla was released, then Kong Skull Island, then Godzilla King of the Monsters, then Godzilla vs. Kong, and then Godzilla and Kong, A New Empire that came out this year. That's the 5th film in the MonsterVerse. Can I take that?
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Because, I mean, it features the characters.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Cool. Good. What's your 4th pick?
I'm gonna go for
Prey is a good poll. I'm jealous.
Prey is a good one. That's and so is Prometheus. I had Prometheus written down as well as being a potential. I think I'm gonna go for Rambo.
Oh, wait, is that the 5th one?
Last Blood.
Last Blood.
Yeah, it's not John Rambo, unfortunately, because that was amazing. But yeah, Last Blood was it was a drop in quality, but it was still
a good fun. Time. Remember when Rambo came out in 2008? How violent it was!
It was awesome.
Like I that came out when we were in Korea, and I think I don't know when I watched it, but when I watched that movie, I remember just going, this is it. Like people were just dying. People explode in that movie. It's wild.
They do.
Okay. I'm gonna take Final Destination 5
Oh,
because that one's good. That's a good movie, and it features one of the best kills in the franchise. So yeah, I'm gonna take Final Destination 5.
All right. And for my last one, I'm going to go to the slasher genre. I'm going to take Scream 5, which I believe was the
5 cream.
Yeah. 5 cream.
Yeah, the poster had the 5 in front of it, so everyone calls it 5 cream.
Yes, I will take 5 cream.
The good. That's just good. That's a good reboot.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Oh man, okay.
I kind of thought about doing Batman's, but then it kind of, if you're counting franchise overlaps, that leaves you with Batman and Robin. Because if you're allowing yourself to overlap, then you have to count the Adam West one, and then it was like, oh, if you start with 89, then you get Batman Begins, which would be super strong. But then if you're allowing crossover, then you have to go back to the 66 Adam West one, which means you get Batman and Robin, which is not so good. It's
fun.
It is fun.
You know what?
Schwarzenegger had a lot of fun.
You know what my favorite fact is, and this is about Batman Forever, but Joel Schumacher finished Batman Forever like ahead of time and under budget, which blows my mind because that feels like one of the biggest films I've ever seen in my life, and he filmed it under budget and ahead of time,
which is impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be crazy because we left out Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
This is true.
But I don't want to do. Okay, so I have but I mean that's a winner for me. Do you want that movie? Did you forget about that movie? I'll let you have it.
I forgot about it, but you can have it.
But I want Insidious, the last the Red Door. I want that movie. I'm taking it because I love that movie. I'm covering that franchise with David Cross. So
fun.
I'm leaving out Rogue Nation, which is insane, and I'm gonna take Insidious, the Red Door, because it's incredible and it made me cry, which is crazy. But I dig it. We left out Rogue Nation. We should make another person on this podcast called like Niall or something, or or Nurk, and then do Nurk. 5 for them as well.
What have I got left on my list? Harry Potter 5, Rocky 5.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Ballad of Songbirds,
Attack of the Clones. We could do. We could do The Hobbit 2 if we're kind of doing that kind of thing, or you could flip things around and say Empire Strikes Back counts because it's episode 5.
Whoa. And A Good Day to Die Hard. No, don't ever pick that movie.
No, that was just bad.
Run away from that movie. But no, I like it. This was good. I'm very happy.
And then I thought about Superman Returns. Oh, I forgot about that. Superman Returns was.
Do you want it?
No, I'm happy with what I got.
I'm going to create a character called Moore, and we'll do Superman Returns. We'll do Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. I'll do A Good Day to Die Hard. And this is all going to go on Facebook as a poll. A Good Day to Die Hard. That's a terrible movie, so it'll balance out. What else did we say there was?
Harry Potter 5.
Ooh, which one's that? Harry Potter
Order of the Phoenix.
And the Order of the Phoenix. And then we'll do, you already took 5 cream, so we'll do Seed of Chucky.
Sweet.
You know what's interesting? My mom's name is Moore, or my grandfather's name is Moore. So you and I could be relatives, Niall.
Who knows?
This is the first time I told you that?
You probably have before, but I believe it's the first time you've told me on air.
I figure I'll tell you one more time.
The dad puns are strong with you.
Oh man. Well, yeah. I guess when you are, yeah, the dad puns have gotten better now that I'm a dad. I like it. Actually, that's my kind of humor anyway. But hey, Niall, thanks for joining me, man. And where can people find you?
Twitter, Instagram, etc. at El Nilo.
Around the world, showing pictures of his feet.
Yeah, it's fun times.
All right, man. Thank you for joining me.
Maybe not eating beans next to El Capitan, but I can dream.
Here we go. You ready for this? This is how we're going to get out of this episode. Ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily,
Row,
merrily,
row,
merrily,
row your
merrily,
boat
life is but
gently
a
down the
dream.
stream.
All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you for
Ending.
joining.
I
We'll see
like
you
it.
next week.